What is going on, everybody? This is Alex coming back at you with another video. And today we're going to be rocking it with round 3 of the What I Would Do mock draft. So if you guys are new to the series, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, join the community, watch the first 2 rounds because that'll give a lot more clarity on why the hell we are here right now. Let's kick into this, guys. Round 3, let's go. So at number 65, we got the Jaguars. And again, if I'm sitting here for them, I'd be definitely, because we got Aidan Hutchinson. Actually, no, we did not. I think we got Myjai Sanders as well as Evan Neal. So holla. I would still be looking for somebody who could be that outside linebacker threat like Nick Benito. You could be looking for an upgrade there. Interior defensive line, though. Devontae Wyatt brings a lot to love to this team. Perrion Winfrey as well. So both these guys, honestly, I think would be pretty good additions to the team. Looking at the rest of the guys, Tyler Smith's here. And I was fed misinformation about him being on a return list. And I thought he was coming out. And I was told that he wasn't. And I was wrong. So, well, actually, I was right. But I was wrong in trusting information I was getting. So that's on me. Because obviously, when I hear stuff from other people, no matter how credible they are, you got to have to make sure that your research is your own. So I think, honestly, I would look at either Smith or Likely here. Again, you do need a receiving threat, and you look at the receivers on the board. Sky Moore is not going to offer the same level of impact that you could see from, I mean, to be honest, he's not going to offer anything new, right? Laviska Shenault, Sky Moore, these guys who are going to be more gadget weapons. I think that you're going to get a lot more love from a guy who I love to take for this team, which is Isaiah Likely. And yes, if you guys are saying there's a lot of overlap from the normal mocks, that makes sense because I blend what I would take in with some realism there. Now, I do crazy shit like taking Carson Strong, but taking Carson Strong to the Browns, but still, that's the variability. That's what makes it fun. And also, you got to keep this I mean, I'm not that much of a dumbass. I hope to God. So I hope I know what, if I were a GM, what I would want is something that might actually help out the team. So number 66 for the Lions. Let's look at a multitude of places here. So I like the idea of a corner. I do. Adding some extra help here. Still got Kobe Bryant down there, which he's ranked 120. Kind of rude. I'm going to be honest with you. We already got a safety. I think that was Lewis Seen, which I said sign if I'm not mistaken. That's 100% on me. I know it's Lewis Seen. So I have no idea why the hell I said that. Sterling Weatherford's actually an interesting prospect. Not going to be taken at this point. And I got to check on Verone McKinley, whether he's actually coming out in the draft, because I'm going to assume for this mock right now, since we have limited knowledge, that he's not coming out. And I hope he doesn't. I really do. Because I think he could use 1 or 2 more years. Actually, if I'm thinking about it, he should come out this year with all the safeties that returned. But still, Verone McKinley is very underrated. That being said, I think Tyler Smith would be a really good guy to put on the inside of this offensive line. If I'm sitting here, I have went 3 defensive players. Wide receiver, I think Amon-Ra and Sky Moore are very similar. So I'm going to go Tyler Smith here. Yeah, I have him actually listed as a guard only with some tackle upside, which again, in case of injury, that's a wonderful thing, right? So getting Tyler Smith would be a steal for this roster. That unfortunately kills off the Bengals' hopes of getting that. But honestly, if I were the Bengals, I'm sitting here, you still got Jamari Sawyer, who could be your left tackle or right tackle or right guard. He has a lot of versatility. I'd be very, very much keeping an eye open to that right there. And we traded this pick back. Yeah, this is a hard team to draft for. I'm going to be honest. Like, when I look at it, it's a very tough team to draft for because I think tight end probably is the right route to go. And it just sucks that Sam Laporta is not here. It really does, because I would love that. Now, Jeremy Rooker is a guy who I think fits what the Bengals are looking for, but I'm actually going to go after a guy who I have actually rated pretty highly, and that's Jalen Wydermyer. I have him as a 3rd-round grade, and he is honestly pretty talented as a receiver. He has some issues, I think, with some blocking. I got to look over all my notes again just to get the really nitty-gritty details there, but I actually was very pleasantly surprised with my Wydermyer eval. So yeah, I think that he definitely would be a very good addition to this team, adding one more weapon into the rotation for Joe Burrow. And you can definitely use some extra help in that lower mid-range with the big dudes. So you got some great wide receivers, getting a solid ass tight end, far from something to scoff at. Number 68. So this right here is probably going to be Tariq Woolen. I think that wouldn't be a bad option at all. Just you take a shot on somebody who's 6'4", over 200 pounds, can run 4.45. That's just really worth it. And again, he's a very developmental prospect. We're gonna see it in the next couple of weeks at the Senior Bowl if he has what it takes. But it's him or Kobe Bryant. You could take whoever. I'm gonna take the guy with more upside though, so I'm gonna take Tariq Woolen here. And honestly, that kind of leaves Kobe Bryant here for the Jets. If I were sitting there, it's like, yeah, you could go offensive line. I think we already did with Kenyon Green. So we're going to go Kobe Bryant here out of Cincinnati. Yeah, I think it's a good slot for him. Number 70. So the Jaguars, I think this wouldn't be a bad idea to go Devontae Wyatt here or Perion Winfrey. Both have their big upsides. Both have something that they could definitely contribute to the roster. You know, they're very unique players. Fedarian Mathis got injured in the final game. I'm not a huge fan of old dudes who are just coming off an injury, but Devontae Wyatt brings a lot to the table. Perion has some super high end and super low end reps. Of course, for a team like the Jaguars, you might want to take that over someone who's a bit more consistent. So I'm actually going to do it. We're going to go Perion Winfrey here. You know, just some of those reps this guy does is incredible. It is. You just got to watch him. It's like, wow. Like my jaw drops on like 5 to 10% of these reps. It's just like, you're talking about pretty much the Drake Jackson of interior defensive linemen here. And he does have some special flashes. So definitely like that. For the Bears, you know, we went George Pickens as well as nothing else because we gave away our first round pick for a quarterback, which is not a bad move at all. Let's just take a quick look to see who's still on the board. We still got Boye Mafe on the board, Nick Bonito, Logan Hall. He's rated way too high in my opinion. Again, if you use him on the interior, that makes a little more sense for a team maybe like the Seahawks who could use him as a D tackle and edge hybrid. But for the Bears in this situation, I think a corner wouldn't be bad at all. And they've taken guys who are kind of sub fast corners, like just kind of like medium, like par speed, and made them work pretty well. So I'm going to go Darion Kendrick here out of Georgia, stealing him from another NFC team, the Seattle Seahawks. So for Seattle, at this point, let's see who's on the board. Let's see who I like on the board. So quarterback is obviously, I think, off the table at the moment, but I just want to tell you guys that I might have Zappe and Purdy before I go Desmond Ridder. Just going to be honest. But we'll put that aside. I think edge is a great way to go. And dude, Boye Mafe is just so good. He's so good. I would honestly take him in the end of the second if I had the chance again. But the guy is just phenomenal. He is. You see some of those flashes. He has crazy long arms. He uses his length. Those are the building blocks. If you pair him up with Carlos Dunlap for a guy who could be a perennial Pro Bowler. I love Boye Mafe. Big fan. He's going to develop in a couple of years into somebody who's going to be a big impact at the next level. And if I were Washington here, I would honestly be looking for a linebacker. We already went with a slot corner / safety hybrid in Daxton Hill. Otherwise, I would look at JoJo Doman as someone who could play that role. I think we want someone a little bit bigger. I would look at Darian Beavers here. I would. He has some pass rushing upside, and he has some excellent play rec. And I think the big thing that we've been getting killed in is the run game. And Darian Beavers would be great for that. So again, I got to get out of the what they would do mindset to what I would do. I would probably go Darian Beavers here. I would. I think that's the right move. So we're going to go Darian Beavers, 6'4", 240 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, 255. Yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah, and he has excellent play rec. He can also pass rush. Definitely a guy you could use next to Jamin Davis. Number 74. Who did we get on interior defensive line for the Falcons here? So we got Wandale. Did we actually get Jordan Davis? We did. Wow. Intriguing. But I think a left cornerback would be where I'd go here. I got to admit, though, you got Breece Hall here. I don't think you could pass up on him. Breece Hall's my RB1 at the moment. They're my RB2. I'm pretty like 99% sure he decided to return. And since he is gone, I have to unveil it. So for you guys who are actually watching, then you guys get to know the treat to the answer that, or the question that no one was able to answer properly. My number 2 running back was Eric Gray. I fell in love with him. Yeah, I think that he's a phenomenal back. I think he has a lot of dynamicism to him. Yes, I don't know if that's an official word, but we're going to say, according to the NFL, that's an official word. But I just absolutely loved how lethal, how electric he was. Big fan of Eric Gray, especially next year if he continues to develop. He's going to be one of those like 3rd to 4th round dudes who I'm going to love because, again, you look at the class, it's like, yeah, you're not going to be taking him in round 2. Like he graded out to be a 2nd rounder to me. But 75 actually had a higher grade than Breece Hall. But again, you got to look at overall body. 75 for the Broncos. I would definitely be looking at Nik Bonitto here. Even though he doesn't exactly fit, you want someone a little bit larger, I would still take a chance on him. At this point, it's like, dude, I might as well. Offensive line-wise, you got Jackson Kirkland there. That would be a fun guy to test out. Jamari Sawyer as well. But I think Nik Bonitto is phenomenal. In the right scheme, he's phenomenal. He graded out as a 3rd rounder still without scheme fit involved. So I think Nik Bonitto is definitely a good option for this team. He was, I think, something like a 90.6 PFF grade his true freshman year. Like this guy has some legit stats, man. Like he does legit production. And if he's with the right squad, which again, Broncos, they usually know what the hell they're doing. I think it's a good spot. I do. Number 76 with the Ravens. If I'm them, I need to build up that interior. I want to see which edge we got. I'm pretty sure it was Jermaine Johnson. So it's not someone that you'd use inside. So Devontae Wyatt would be definitely somebody I'd be very intrigued with. Very intrigued. Same thing with Logan Hall. But, I mean, Logan Hall fits exactly their need a lot better, though. I'm going to be honest. So you got Jermaine Johnson, Odafe Owe, and Logan Hall being your main rushers. Again, you do have somebody inside as well. I'm going to do it. I would take Logan Hall at this point. I think his fit is great. And again, I do really like Devontae Wyatt. He is arguably like an early 3rd. If I were the team, I would not feel comfortable taking a D tackle over an edge interior defensive lineman hybrid. So number 77. So if I were the Minnesota Vikings, I would realize that it's time to get a 3rd wide receiver. You got Thielen. I mean, yeah, you got plenty of dudes here. But again, this is my mock draft. I want to get Sky Moore. I think that the drop off after him is a bit larger. I do like Sky Moore from what I've seen. I do. And that would just create a totally lethal passing attack. No more excuses for Kirk. That's the way I'd roll. 78 for the Brownies. I wouldn't be against going defensive line here because, again, I do like Devontae Wyatt. Jojo Doman would be intriguing if they didn't get JOK last year. So, I mean, I'm not really – Leo Chenal probably is the next best thing. And he did really well in the run game. And when you're in a division with the Ravens and now the Steelers without really much of a quarterbacking attack, this might be the best bet. So if I were sitting there, he's a redshirt sophomore declared for the draft. I'd be like, sure, it's a 3rd round pick. And we're getting a guy with a lot of potential who's already shown that he can play run in the Big Ten Big Ten. Phenomenal. I'm going to go Leo Chenal. I do like him quite a bit. A lot of people have him as one of their top linebackers too. Speaking of a team that I would want to go linebacker for, that's the Chargers. It's linebacker or else corner. Yes, I know the interior defensive line needs work too. We'll do it. We'll go Devontae Wyatt here. Not the best in the run game, but there are some really high-end snaps. And to be honest, he's better than what you already have. So there you go. To all the people saying, what happens? Like, why don't we get Jordan Davis in the 1st? Because there's guys later on that are perfectly fine at stopping the run. And there's plenty of guys in free agency or you can even trade a 5th round pick for someone equivalent in talent to, let's just say, Snacks Harrison, right? He went for a 5th round pick. You can patch these gaps for really cheap. That's why its positional value is not very high. That's why I'd never take it in the 1st. So number 80 with the Texans, this would have been Sky Moore. But at this point, it's like, dude, you got to go with the running back here, right? Like you have to. And I'm going to go Isaiah Spiller. I like him more than Kenneth Walker. Again, kill me, crucify me, do whatever you want. I found Isaiah Spiller to be a lot more special, very similar to Devin Singletary. So that's why I do like him right there. Number 81, this actually is going to be JoJo Doman. I think this is a good spot for JoJo. He was listed at corner because he played outside linebacker, slot corner, safety hybrid. This is a guy for a team that has more of a run stuffing linebacker. This is going to be a good spot for him. I do like JoJo Doman quite a bit. So we're going to be sticking him there. 82 for the Colts. So I'm looking at the wide receiver class. I'm like, But I'm looking at the corner class. I'm like, wow, there's some really good guys still on the board. Cam Taylor-Britt, too. Got to give this guy a shout out. Really good player. I think Mikael Wright is getting heavily underrated now. Mario Goodrich, I think, had that crazy pick to end, had the pick to end off the season. But I'm going to go Mikael Wright here. Corner is definitely a huge need. You guys know it. And again, he's really damn solid at being able to stick to his receiver's hip. And as long as he continues developing ball skills, I think he'll be a lot better than what people realize. So get him in there, get him in that rotation and see what happens. Eagles. Oof. We actually got a pick for the Eagles. That's the fun part. So Sanders is up for a contract. I would honestly consider going after someone like Kenneth Walker at this point. We've had good success with Kenny Gainwell so far. So could do that. To be honest, that might be the way I do go. You could look at someone like Damone Clark, Quay Walker, Channing Tindall to be your guys who are your main linebackers. But honestly, did Mike Jones decide to come out? There's no way in hell he decided to come out. No way. But I would look definitely more at Quay Walker than anything. But still, that being said, linebacker is a big issue. I don't think any of these guys upgrade from what you already have. So I'm going to go running back here. I'm going to go Kenneth Walker. I am. He's not ranked that highly for me, but again, I do realize that he has some phenomenal flashes on tape. And yes, I did watch the Michigan game. That was one of the games I watched because I wanted to see his heights. I was not that surprised, but again, this is the third round. And it's like, you got Kenneth Gainwell. Is it Kenneth Gainwell a third? And then Kenneth Walker, I think that would be quite funny, actually. But I know Kenny Gainwell and Kenny Walker would be a pretty dynamic duo there because I know Kenny Gainwell is able to pick up a lot. So good thing for Kenneth Walker. He's able to fall here and find his home in Philadelphia. So next, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's see what I want to get from my Steelers. We already went with a tackle. Intriguing. Who do we go with? I just totally bugged out on this one. We went Max Mitchell. Okay, so we got our right tackle replacement. That's good. I'm happy with that one. Run defense. We could go after somebody like Zachary Carter even to be a unique presence on the inside. Fedarian Mathis in there too. Because I know we've gotten Isaiah Buggs before, right? Like it's not out of the question. Again, linebacker, definitely something in the equation. I don't like most of these guys here. So getting someone like Jermaine Waller would be a good addition to this team. Cam Taylor-Britt as well. So for me, if I were the one drafting for this team, I'm going to pull the trigger on Jermaine Waller out of VT. Again, really good man zone team. Just they train their corners well, and it's a good spot to just see what the hell happens at number 84. 85 for the Patriots. I think that this would be, like, again, if I were here, I would be looking right here at James Cook. James White's up for a contract. Getting a better version of James White probably be the thing that I would do. So we're going to go James Cook here. Yeah, it sounds kind of crazy, but I really do like James Cook. 86 for the Raiders. You could definitely get someone like Zachary Carter on the squad to be an interior defensive lineman. That would not be bad at all. None at all. We could look at right tackle. Because again, Abraham Lucas is here. He fits perfectly. Again, we're not doing fits. We're not doing fits. Right. If I were them, I would honestly take Jackson Kirkland and just say, hey, if he fits at right tackle, he works. Worst case scenario, we're going to make Leatherwood try his best at right tackle, and we're going to move Jackson Kirkland to right guard. Or we can move Jackson Kirkland left guard. I would personally be happy with that. Number 87 for the Cards. So we have we got an interior offensive line for him yet? I don't think we have. Probably first round, we went like an edge or a corner. Yeah, we went Andrew Booth. Round 2, probably the edge route. Oh, we went wide receiver. How intriguing. We have not gotten edge. And I probably should have known that because I could see it right there, right? But I'm not really I mean, apart from Michael Clemens, who's probably going to be my next guy on the list, who you guys need to check him out. He's pretty fun. Not going to be targeting that position. I'm not, even though we need it. I don't think that's the right move. That being said, we could go after someone like Abraham Lucas. It wouldn't be bad. Jamari Sawyer still on the board. So there's a couple routes I would go here. Running back, again, not a bad choice. Tight end, you could get Jeremy Ruckert. Would be a pretty good fit on the squad. Again, not doing it for fit. Honestly, this is a good spot to trade back. It is. You still got really good. You got someone who could play left tackle here. And there are some teams that I could see trying to move up and getting somebody who can play tackle, like the Broncos. Broncos, we went Nick Bonito earlier rather than going after Jackson Kirkland. So we're going to move back. So Broncos are going to be moving up with the Cards. Yeah, we're going to make this happen. We're going to send a 5th. We're going to ask for a 7th in return. I like doing those pick trades because at that point, you're just downgrading the picks you have, but you're also kind of like boosting your value. Jamari Sawyer is going to be a left tackle that can move to a right tackle for this squad. I think that's just the drop off after that is ridiculous. So if I were there, I would just be like, dude, you might as well take a chance on it. He played pretty well against Will Anderson twice, and he played really well against Aidan Hutchinson. Well, okay, I can't say really well. He had some major holes on tape, but in the 3rd round, when you're able to flash pretty well against some of the best talent in college football, I'd say you're worth taking in the 3rd. So for the Cowboys, I would go linebacker if I just felt comfortable with taking a linebacker. Quay Walker's the next dude who I'd take here. But for me at this point, I mean, it's safety or corner. And honestly, I'm going to go Nick Cross, hyper athletic safety out of Maryland. Just at that point, the Cowboys use their safeties. I think they used their 4th safety more than they used their 4th corner. So you might as well have that rotation in there. Nick Cross has a lot of potential. Again, you can also probably put him in the box for some snaps. He's over 210 pounds, I believe 215. Definitely an intriguing guy to be putting around on your team. So if I were the Bengals, I am pulling the trigger so hard on Abraham Lucas here. Somebody who could definitely step in and play right tackle. I would absolutely love to get Abraham Lucas at 89. I had him as like a plug and play player coming into the season, and he still is that right now. Big fan of what Abraham Lucas can bring to the table. Number 90, if I were the 49ers, I would definitely look for maybe another wide receiver to help out Trey Lance in his ascension, but I would also look at an edge player to play a key role. Again, I heard he talked about how I would just bring back Arden Key. So we're going to assume that. Leaving me either wanting to go corner or else wide receiver here. You do have Romeo Doubs, who's a good deep threat. Khalil Shakir is a fun one. Again, Justin Ross, Ezukanma, guys who I'd all consider at this point. Definitely for sure. Whew. Honestly, this should be a trade back spot too. I'm not a huge fan of the guys on the board. You still have some quarterbacks. So for a quarterback needy team, i.e. the Titans, I think this is a good spot. So we're actually going to move up with the Titans. It's going to be quite funny because Titans were just eliminated. So yeah, this pick is actually outdated because as of right now, this is recorded the day after the AFC semi. Like what was it? It was right after the Titans got eliminated as well as the fucking Packers. We'll talk about that another day. But this team now should be targeting a QB. Not Caleb Ellaby, but Bailey Zappe certainly should be in the category, as well as Brock Purdy. I'm going to go with my QB5, Bailey Zappe. I don't know if it's Zapp or Zappe, but for once, I actually don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. But Bailey is going to be the guy for us. Number 91 for the Bills. If I were them, I would want somebody who could just pound the rock. I just don't see anybody in here that I like enough. Actually, Zamir White would be the next guy on my list, and I'm not taking him in the 3rd. So that sucks. I'm going to go corner here. We're going to go actually with Mario Goodrich, just a big playmaker for Clemson. I think that's a big plus to him. And it's the team that's desperate for CB2. So good on them. So we got a good value as well. 92 for the Cards. This is going to be Jeremy Ruckert. Adding him right behind Zach Ertz is the best possible situation. Him and Greg Dulcich are like pretty interchangeable. I do like Greg quite a bit. So he will probably be going this round, probably to the Packers. But for now, we're going to stick there. Leaving 93, I mean, to be honest, I don't know what Kyron Williams offers that Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't. I feel like they're pretty similar. So I'm going to go, I don't like Jerome Ford that much. I would not take him in the third, which sucks because I really wanted to. This might be a trade back spot as well because I see guys like Jalen Petrie who are slot. Actually, this is a team like Houston slot corner. Hold up. Yeah, Daniel Sorensen sucks. I like Jalen Petrie. So Reed's going to go right here. Number 94. This, if I were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I have to continue saying that because I keep wanting to go with like the guy who the guy who should fit. Cam Taylor-Britt and Caleb Evans, both guys who I would definitely consider because they're both actually large enough dudes as well to make a big impact. Nehemiah Pritchett's pretty thin. Actually, they do like Auburn corners. That's a realistic move. What I would do, because I do know Nehemiah Pritchett also kind of like locked up at the end of that game, end of his final game. So wouldn't be a bad idea. But at this point, I'd be going Zachary Carter or Fedarian Mathis. Fedarian, I know he's going to be a big impact. And he's a lot larger than Zach. So we're going to go Fedarian. But just keep in mind, I'd actually want to go Zachary Carter there as well. Just a really fun player. So at 95, the Niners are back on the board. Honestly, I'm taking another corner for them. So we already took one. And let's just check on who that is. That was Trent McDuffie. So honestly, I'd want someone with a little more speed. I go Nehemiah Pritchett as well, going back-to-back corners. 96 for the Packers. Yeah, this is going to be a tight end. I know offensive line's a big need, but this is going to be Greg Dulcich all the way. All the way. I love Greg. And him going to the Packers is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Get Jordan Love a weapon that he needs. 97. So this should be a wide receiver pick. Honestly, it should be. And you already have your deep threat. You already have your guy over the middle. You don't have a big man yet. And honestly, at this point, I'd feel more comfortable with Justin Ross. You could go QB, though. You could. And honestly, I think I am going to. I'm going to go Brock Purdy out of Iowa State. I do like Brock Purdy more than Desmond Ridder. There's just some flashes on tape that are very high NFL IQ. And there's also ones that are not. But yeah, we're going to go with that for sure. Brock Purdy. And I think we went Logan Hall for the Ravens earlier this round. We did. So we don't need to go after someone like Zachary Carter, who's of the same build. But I think that going along the lines of, offensive line is just, it's not good anymore, guys. It's not. Alec Lindstrom wouldn't be bad. But who did we go offensive line earlier? Oh, we went a right tackle already. So we can actually, again, this is up to me. I'm going to go Alec Lindstrom here to go at center. Again, we got a right tackle in Darian Kennard, got Alec Lindstrom, as well as two edge defenders, but one of them being interior and one of them being more of an exterior edge defender. You have a nasty defensive front now, by the way. Love it. 99 for the Saints. So this is a team, this is where I'd feel comfortable taking Desmond Ridder because, to be honest, how much better how much worse can you get than, do I need to say his name? Do I need to? Ian fucking Book? No. So yeah, Desmond Ridder is more of a future to this team than Ian Book ever would be. This is probably where I'd take him. I don't have him graded. I have him graded probably like as a late 3, early 4. Again, has that big arm, has a really big winner mentality, and like he has some great mobility. That'll land you in the third, the late third, but the third nonetheless. Number 100 for the Dolphins. I think this team needs probably a running back more than anything. Again, this is just not a good draft for it. It's not. Because I'd go, honestly, Kyron Williams might just be the best bet that you have. I don't want to disrespect Kyron because he is actually pretty high on my board compared to other guys, but could go wide receiver as well. Could go Justin Ross. Let's screw it. Screw it. Honestly, I think that going after a guy like Justin Ross with that potential could be the thing that this team needs. Christian Watson, another guy I want to see at the Senior Bowl. So pretty excited for that. Number 100 with the Rams. If I were them, again, I already took all the offensive linemen off the board. That's the only big issue. But when you're looking at it, it's like, what do you need? probably a linebacker, right? This is where I could see Quay Walker out of Georgia going to end off the draft. So let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I mean, Quay Walker for this team, not too shabby. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, you're going to disagree with my picks, and that's perfectly fine. Let's have good football discourse down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.